go live with 1,000 followers because that's the limit for TikTok. How did that work out for you?
I never made a video. I didn't really even know how. I mean, it was you don't understand. And people are like, "Are you on the gram? Are you on the gram?" And I'm like, "Well, I am, but I don't know my username." And somebody was like, "Oh, I know it's Miss Dutchy, whatever it was, Miss Dutchy or Miss Dutchy 73." They're like, "I've been stalking you. I can tell you what your Instagram is," because I'm like, I don't even know. I am so, like I said, this was totally nothing this was not in my plans.
And that's Miss Dutchy from part one of this segment. And my little message that I had with it when I take away my motto for 2023, trust the process. But it's really what her message is. And part two of our message was using creativity. And I that's what she does. She makes cups. And how cool is that? I wanted to do a two-part episode here because I just wanted to break down and really give the time for this episode. So this one is going to be the full recording with her, and she goes into a lot of different things of why she does what she does, a little bit of her family and social media, balancing all of it, and using creativity to combat grief is really what resonated with me, and even getting her to do a recording on Wave On. Welcome to the show. I'm Misty, your host, by the way. And we're talking about here part two of the two broken down segments. I believe episode 59, part one. And this is episode 60. And woo, 60. And so the combating grief with creativity, me being already like a creative person and my stress relief and what I do. I create a lot of things for my business even, but what really resonated with me within my first year of losing my dad was coloring. And I already coloring. I already had a collection of coloring books. So my friend had, at the end of paddleboard season, she's like, "You're going to have more time on your hands." And I was kind of dreading it as well. And she had gifted me a sketchbook with a pack of other oil based pastels with a bunch of different colors. So all I kept doing was just creating non-judgmental water scenes and just flowing out shades of blue with a sunset and painting Tahoe because that's one of my favorite places to paddleboard. So last year, actually, at the end of the season, celebrating 5 years of Luna Moon, if you're a student and you received a coloring page booklet, they were loose pages with very abstract scenes, and I laugh at that because that was just someone else's creativity, but on the back it said with very abstract scenes, and I'm like, these are actually very abstract designs. They weren't really of anything. You couldn't really identify it being a leaf or a pattern on a sweater. It was just very random. But how cool is that? It's just like non-judgmental, so you don't have to color it green like a leaf or a nature scene. It was just like, here, use your colored pencils or markers and just go to town, like using the power of the pen to go through some drama or negativity, just create something, fun, visual to the eye, colorful. If blue's your favorite color, doing the shades of blue and maybe some greens that make it teal. So yeah, I went to art school. If you didn't know that about me, I went to art school. So I could be an art school teacher if I want, I guess. But no, I like introducing this to students, clients of mine, because paddleboarding is supposed to be a stress relief, but we can't do it all the time. It's not, unless we have a pool, I guess. I'm making jokes aside, but really, it is a stress relief. It is getting out in nature and breathing fresh air and all of those things, being active too, to combat stress. So the coloring book is just kind of a symbol or a tool for the girls that mostly girls that come out for my classes and celebrating 5 years of Luna Moon. So they were super surprised when I would hand this to them and I would say, look, just, fill the pages. So now I have to see what you've done over winter so far. I have one that I've been coloring on and maybe I'll post it. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, combating grief with creativity. So let's dive into this episode. I don't want to keep you too much longer. We do have pool dates again, February, March, April, all the way to May. And then lunamoonshpyoga.com. Go there. There's new merch. And I'm going to be doing a show here in Sylvan Lake at the end of February, February 26th. February 25th is the pool. The 26th, I will be doing a show in Sylvan Lake at the community center. And I'll be highlighting all the things of Luna Moon, my product, my art that are all natural, and maybe some other things. We'll see. We'll see what shakes down here in the next few weeks. What have I been creative? What have I been creative? Oh my gosh. What have I been creating? There we go. I am trying to get this episode out for you to listen, and I can't get the words out fast enough. Anyway, let's dive in. Miss Dutchie, I love that you are on the podcast here and you're going to share. And honestly, to kick this off, for me, this is a very different way that I've invited somebody on. You're from TikTok, and a lot of people that I've had on have been from Instagram. So you're the first TikToker sharing here.
Wow.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being here. And such a... well, I guess it's just the way the world is on the social media aspect and all of that. I've been watching your lives, and they're just, I don't even know how I came across you really. It was a while ago, like a few months ago, and I thought, how cool is that? You've got these cups spinning. I have to describe this really quick. You got these cups spinning. And you're putting down colors and stuff, and I'm just listening to you talk. I'm genuinely just intrigued by people, and I guess that's part of having a podcast.
Sure.
And I'm like, wow, that is so cool. So, and then I don't know, it just kind of snowballed out of that. And then one night I woke up and I'm like, oh my God, she's still on.
Yes, I get that a lot. You're still on. Like they'll say, I've been to sleep and I'm back and you're still on, and that is true, especially now with Dutchie After Dark. It's we have late hours. Yes.
How did you get started with this?
Well, with the whole TikTok thing, it started as I didn't even know anything about TikTok or anything like that, and my kids would talk about TikTok, and I'm like, I'm too old for that. I'm not getting on TikTok. I'm not here for that, And my father passed away in September, and so I was just looking for something to I don't know. I guess it's kind of a way to grieve, and it was probably sometime in November. I saw some rhinestone cups, and I was like, oh, my daughter would totally love that. So I went to look about buying them, and I saw the price, and I was like, oh, okay, I could totally make that for that price. And then once I got started making the rhinestone cups, I completely understood why the prices were what they were. But I started rhinestoning, and then my goal was just, I've got to get to 1,000 followers so I could go live. I had no intentions, but I think in my brain, that was my goal. I had to set some kind of a goal. So I got to 1,000 followers, and then I was like, oh gosh, I can't go live. I could never do that. And we had a group of probably 30, 99% of us were women. We would have some gentlemen that popped in and out, but our regulars, as we call them, there was about 30 of us, and we would get on there. And so one night I was just like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to hit live, and whatever happens, happens. And so I came out, I hit the live button, and I mean, I was literally like right up staring into the phone, and I had no idea it had started recording. And then I saw somebody say, hello or whatever. And I was like, oh, hi, everybody. And from there, it just kind of took off. You know, you can imagine this almost 49-year-old lady sitting here not knowing it's recording. And so from there, like I said, it kind of snowballed. And so we had a following of about 30 of us, predominantly women, where, you know, we would talk hot flashes, hormones, you know, just life in general. And I would just sit in Rhinestone, and I got to where I saw epoxy cups. I would see other creators, and I watched a lot of lots and lots of YouTube videos. And I thought, I could probably do that. Why don't we try that? And, you know, my second live I ever had, I had 1,600 people in my live, and I was flipping out. And I was just talking. We were having a good old time. And all of a sudden, I got the white screen of death. You know, it said, "You've been banned."
Oh,
and I was
really?
like, for what?
Mm-hmm.
And so I appealed, and of course there was nothing there. I think it ended up just being somebody that did not like that I had so many followers at that time, you know.
Oh, wow.
So I kept right on going. And I mean, for almost 3 months now, I have been live every single night except for 2 nights. And that was because our Wi-Fi was completely knocked out. It happened across the nation. And of course, you know, we were some of the lucky ones.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just, like I said, it started from there. And we went from a group of about 30 to we have had 36. I was corrected last night. I thought it was lower than that. But one of my mods said we have had 36.6 thousand people in my live before. And I've said, I'm so glad I didn't look up there and see that number.
Oh,
because I would have just flipped out. You know, I mean, it's bad enough to 10, 15. But to see 36.6 thousand, I would have cracked like an egg, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh. Do you even know, how does that even happen with that many numbers?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I'm so used to the comments they skip. They don't really even scroll. There are so many comments and things happen so quickly that they just, like I said, they don't even scroll. They just jump.
Yeah.
And, I try not to look at that number because I don't want it to make me nervous or, you know, not cause me to change, but, you know, change. Well, I guess basically change anything I do or say, because I don't want that. But I knew that I know if it's a big number that I get a little more nervous. So I try not to pay much attention to that.
Yeah, because you're creating live.
Right.
And I think when I first saw it, I guess when I was like, internalizing it in my head, and I thought, wow, and then these people are watching and they're commenting and they're liking and this and that. And like you said, the jump even, because I'll see it, on the other side, it's like, yeah, you can't even see all the comments if they go that fast. And I thought to myself, it's almost like, when people do caricatures of you, like draw at a carnival or a festival or something like that. But yet it's like this modern day version because you're live, and anyone can, they're not in an event, they're at home. And
right.
It's so unique and so like intriguing. And well, it's a lot of things, I think. But for you though, to be passionately doing, art and stuff, and then people commenting and then a ton of people in there, I can't imagine. It's almost like you want to put blinders on, I would think.
I do. And like I'm really working on not addressing the trolls and all that kind of stuff, because I don't want it to take away, my platform is a very safe, positive, accepting, inclusive environment. And so I try not to give the trolls their 2 seconds. But now last night, for instance, I'm not having that because I Zoom with my clients on a separate device. So I'm live on TikTok, but I'm actually Zooming privately with the client.
Yeah.
And for some odd reason, people think that it is okay to help them create their cup. And so, I have my slogan, mind your own cup. So that, and I addressed it last night and they're like, you're feeding the trolls. And I'm like, no, but if I have a client that is paying me to create their cup and paying me for their time, then they should be able to come on and make a cup without any rebuttal or, oh, I would not pick that color. It needs more. Add in some of this. It is their cup. And I told them, I was like, guys, it's very disrespectful when somebody is trying to make their cup the way they want it, and you are either judging them or now if they ask, as I kind of say, poll the audience, what color should I do? What secret sauce should I do? That's totally different.
Sure.
If they are asking, by all means, fire away. But if they are not, you need to mind your own cup because people are creating what they want to create and they should be able to do that freely. And so last night, and that it kind of set me off. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna address the trolls in that manner. They can come at me, that's fine. I'm not gonna give them the time of day, but they're not gonna be disrespectful to whoever it is that I have on Zoom to create their cup. That's just disrespectful, and
that's right.
I'm not here for that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's the whole other aspect. You have someone over here that you need to direct to them one-on-one. I mean, everyone else is, we're kind of like, peanuts in the gallery back there, like
right.
watching, and then to alter someone's decision on a color or something like that, and it's like a little web there of different aspects of what's going on.
Sure.
So you
right.
you kind of have a lot going on.
I do, and like I said, I'm trying to juggle the live stream and the clients, and my moderators are just, there is no way that I could nor would I attempt to do this without them. They are so on it, and that's what I have told people is just do not mention the trolls, do not mention that. They will get to them. They will be able to make some comments before they can catch up because there's so many people in there.
Mm-hmm.
But rest assured, those mods will get them. Mm-hmm. And while they are trying to catch up, the whole Dutchy dynasty is my followers have just kind of labeled themselves, they are Dutchy dynasty. They will bless, block, and release, as I say. Again, that's my motto is to bless, block them, and release them. And boy, they will do it quick, like, and in a hurry. They don't play either. So we are Dutchy strong for sure. And if somebody comes in and they are not about what my platform stands for, boy, will they let them know very quickly.
That's awesome, though. You've got that, strong backing. Are the mods people that you actually know, or
a couple of them are? A few of them, have my best friend, and then my sister Lala, who has become very, she is recognized out now too, and so I have maybe 4 or 5, something like that. I'm allowed 20 mods is all.
Okay.
So you can imagine 20 people trying to control. We average anywhere from 7 to right now 12 to 15,000. It just varies, but I mean we have over 6,000 almost regularly, and so you can imagine 20 people I'm allowed to moderate, and of course they're not all on at the same times either. So
yeah,
those select few trying to moderate for that many people is just, it's really something. But the majority of the moderators were people that followed me when I had my following of about 30 people. We had that small group, and it was so funny because the night that it just started taking off, we had several of my OGs in there, and so I was just clicking. I was like, you're a moderator. You're a moderator. And when I got off, I emailed everybody and messaged them. I was like, I hope you're okay with that, because it literally happened overnight. And
Wow.
the comments and everything. And I was like, I need some help. So I was like, you get to be a moderator. You get to be a moderator. And they have been people that were with me, and they're still with me.
Hmm.
So they have followed me since day one. And
Nice.
while I didn't know them before, we have kind of created a family. We have a chat group together, and we have just kind of created a family where we are, we still talk life. We still talk everything. And
Hmm.
then, we talk some things moderator, but yeah, it's, I couldn't do it without them, and with my dynasty. Yeah,
Yeah,
that wouldn't be possible.
the support group for sure. Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And and in the organic growth that happened for you as well. Um you know, did you do a lot of just videos before you were able to go live with 1,000 followers, because that's the limit for TikTok. How did that work out for you?
I never made a video. I didn't really even know how. I mean, it was, you don't understand. And people are like, "Are you on the gram? Are you on the gram?" And I'm like, "Well, I am, but I don't know my username." And somebody was like, "Oh, I know, it's Miss Dutchy, whatever it was, Miss Dutchy or Miss Dutchy 73." They're like, I've been stalking you. I can tell you what your Instagram is," because I'm like, I don't even know. I am so, like I said, this was totally nothing this was not in my plans to do this. And so, and everybody still gets tickled because, yeah, I didn't have any videos. I mean, I had nothing. I had to have my daughter, who's not even allowed to have TikTok, but somehow she knew how to operate TikTok.
Oh.
I had to have her help me like create the accounts, and then it took me forever to find the live button. And that's why I said I pushed it, and I didn't even know how it was going to happen. And I'm just sitting there looking at the camera, waiting for it to come on. I didn't know what was going to happen. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was just sitting there looking, like waiting for it to come on. And I see these comments, and I'm like, oh, hey, everybody. And so then I just start talking. But yeah, I know nothing. And again, um, a few days ago, I was live with Howie Mandel on my live, and you talking about lost balls and tall weeds. Neither one of us. His daughter was trying to help him connect, to come to me. Well, he didn't know, and so I was live, and they're like, "You're gonna have to get off and go to his, because he doesn't know how to invite you, or you need to invite him." And I said, "I don't know how to invite him." And so my Dutchies were trying to tell me how to invite him. His daughter was trying to tell him how to invite me. And it's just, I said, that really shows you, um, how out of the loop I am. I'm still, somebody will say, "Can you invite me?" or "Can you do this?" And I still, even after all this time of being on there, 95% of the functions and the ability to, I don't know how to request anybody, anything like that. I mean, if somebody pops up or whatever, I can review it. But yeah, I'm so out of the loop that, yeah.
I have to laugh because you just rolled off and said, "Yeah, Howie Mandel," and we don't know what we're doing. I'm like, "Wait a minute, hold up! You had Howie Mandel in your live, and you guys are trying to."
Yes.
I mean,
And
that's
we were both
crazy.
just trying to figure it out, and it was funny. It was more comical us trying to figure out, how to connect, because they came over, and it started, his daughter is a very, very loyal follower of mine.
Okay.
And I didn't know. And he was like, "I have heard and heard and heard about Miss Dutchy, and his dad, Mrs. Dutchy, this." And so he was like, "Come on over." Or, I said, "I can't invite you. I don't know how to invite you." And so
That's so funny.
I went over and into his live. And then even from there, he could not figure out how to connect with me. And so he would hit accept. And it was so funny because he would hit accept, and somebody would pop up on the screen. He was like, "Oh, wait, you're not Mrs. Dutchy," and click, and he would
Oh
turn
my
it off,
gosh.
and he would try somebody. And so he's like, "Mrs. Dutchy, throw up some red hearts." So I put red hearts. Well, then so did, like, several thousand people were putting, he was like, "Well, that's not going to work." So, I mean, it was comical just trying to get connected. And then, of course, I mean, it's Howie Mandel. So the conversation itself was just hilarious, you know, but he is such a genuine, supportive. I mean, his words were like super, super kind and just, he was amazing. He really was.
That's awesome. I mean, even just so it's like your whole journey has just been like, well, I'm just doing cups, but yeah, I introduced TikTok and trying to do these things and have some goals and stuff like that. But it's like you really just trust the process.
I do. And that is another one of my slogans, you know, because I'll drop inks and it's so funny. You can tell people that just pop in, you know, and they're like, what are you doing? What are those blobs? You know, and then all the Dutchies are like, trust the process, trust the process.
Yeah.
She's gonna wake it up, trust the process, you know, and then everybody's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, it is a whole this whole journey is a trust the process journey. Absolutely.
Yeah, and then you have supportive family and
I do.
that are by your side, you know, physically as well, which is awesome. That's so
Yes,
cool.
my husband, he is the brains of the operation, but he goes to bed early because just this morning I was on live until 4 a.m. and he was already up to go to work and he comes and stands at the door to the shop and he's like, and everybody before was like, Miss Dutchie, you've got to get offline, Mister. It's about time for Mr. Dutchie to get up and he's going to come out there and you're still on, you know, that kind of thing.
That's
So
so funny.
yeah, it is very, he is very behind the scenes. He does not like to come on camera or anything like that. And so yeah, they're always like Mr. Dutchie reveal, and he's strictly behind the scenes. But I do. He helps me, and when the kids get out of school, little do they know they're going to be helping mom. Like they can help box up orders
Oh,
and
cool.
stuff like that. So it'll be a little more of a family operation because I'd get some backlash over it, but I don't allow my kids to be on social media. They are not. I don't allow them to be visible in my TikTok. You know,
Hmm.
people feel like they know them because they hear them and you know, and Joe,
Oh
my
yeah,
6 year old, he
I
will
have
sneak
heard
in
Joe.
and inch over, yes. But I'm very that's one thing I will not waver. I just it's not the place. And
Yeah,
I will not allow my kids to be on here.
I could see that. I mean, you
But they
gotta
will be helping mom.
gotta leave a little bit of mystery behind the scenes,
Sure.
you know?
Right.
Can't tell it
Yes.
all. I know I like hearing him on the side. I don't have to see him. I like, but I do like hearing him. The other night it was something about a phone, I think, is what I caught.
Yes. Yes. He he made a cup. He got to pick colors. We on the weekends, it's on Monday through Friday is when I have my appointments, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays in the afternoon. And so everybody they were like, let the kids make a cup. And so Joe made a cup. And when he picked the colors, I was like, oh mercy sakes, this is gonna be terrible because he picked some of the and I'm telling you, it's one of the best cups that I ever made. And he told them, he was like, Mommy, it's and this again, this is constant in my chat. If anybody references Joe, it's about his knowledge because he was like, and they heard him. He said, Mommy, I knew it was gonna be an awesome cup. And I said, well, how did you know? He said, because I have knowledge. And I said, knowledge about what? And he said, knowledge about knowledge. And so now that is the whole thing. Joe has the knowledge. Joe has the
Isn't it?
knowledge. But yeah, his cups and all of kids' cups are amazing. And I think it's just because they know what they want. There's none of this. Well, do I want Curacao blue or lake blue? Oh, wait, no, maybe I want metallic blue. They're just like, I want blue, I want red, I want orange, I want yellow. And they know the colors they want, and their cups are always amazing. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's they're gonna get more than what they bargained for because they're gonna get to help all right. But
That's cool.
it's gonna be behind the scenes,
Yeah,
yes.
definitely. Yeah, the kids have that like, you know, this is it. And I kind of experienced that with a workshop I had with beads and making bracelets.
Mhm.
And I had the adults one time. They took forever. And I thought now I never did one with little kids, but we had a group of 8-year-old girls. And I thought this is probably going to take like an hour and a half. Who knows? It wasn't. They were like I want this color, da 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 da, lined it all up. And I'm like, oh my God, we were done in less than 50 minutes. And the adults were like all over the place.
Right. Right. Yes.
Just a different, different mindset, which is,
Sure. Right.
appreciative as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love like your whole process, trust the process. But, I have to also kind of highlight that, like, I feel like you are, though, whether you're doing it subconsciously or not, or kind of planting a little seed, maybe, so to speak, of being just a little more eco-aware. You're building or making cups that are reusable, and I can't imagine that. Well, I'll show you my cup. I need a cup. Hint, hint.
Absolutely.
Look what I'm using. It's all beat up. It still serves a purpose. But when you have something that is beautiful and like so thought out, and they get to build it and pick the colors and stuff, how cool is that? It's like another encouraging thought as to reuse, your drinkware.
Right. They are, they're stainless steel tumblers. So, yes, they are hand wash only. No, they cannot go in the microwave. Just disclaimer. We get those all the time, but, that is true. They are a little more eco-friendly. They are reusable. And what I have found, that was a very popular thing that I added, because we initially tried to do it over the TikTok. They would pick their colors, and then there was this whole the trolls created. I was talking with a client over TikTok, and someone actually stole her picture while we were talking and made a screen name and just added one extra letter. And so even my moderators, because they try to watch the chat, and so they were like, no, she said, I can't. It was something, it was over the sauce. I remember that, the secret sauce. She wanted light, but the troll kept saying she wanted dark secret sauce. Well, they thought that was her. It was her picture. It was her name.
Oh, no.
And all that kind of stuff. So there was this whole big rigmarole. And that is why I went back to Zoom. I was like, I'm doing it exclusively by Zoom, because I don't want that to happen anymore. But one of the perks of doing it on Zoom, like you said, they get to create their cup. But all too often, they'll say, that's really pretty. Do you think if we added some green in there that would look good? I'm like, absolutely. So they have the ability to actually see their cup, see the inks on the cup, and then tweak it to what they like. So, if they say, well, hey, let's add some green, I think that would be pretty. Yeah. So they add some green. Well, what about, if we add some silver? So it allows them to kind of see it being made and then get to tweak it to what they really, really have in mind.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. Such a unique thing, I love hearing about it. I do love watching the lives. I can't believe that you can commit to every night at 8:00, right on the dot.
Right. And if it is 8:01, they'll let me know, oh, you're late. Everything okay? And it's so funny because they know now I'm on for so long. They'll be like, drink, get you a drink of your water, or get you a snack, and all this kind of stuff. They're very, very supportive. Like I said, in many, many ways, they remind me to get something to drink. They're like, hydrate, get you a snack, do this, do that. And so it is. And now on Dutchie After Dark, we had an amazing, amazing Dutchie After Dark last night. People may hop in and we'll be crying from laughing so hard. I have my guest, Daniel Renee and I actually kind of started it when TikTok was having this showdown thing, and we would get on and battle and stuff like that. And it just turned into almost like kind of like a podcast of sorts, but it was just live. And so you might pop in and we'll be laughing and just, belly laughing. And then in 30 minutes, we'll be crying. We'll be very emotional because, we're talking life, we're talking struggles, we're talking all the things that are very, very hard to talk about that get, pushed under the rug, whatever. And at 4 o'clock this morning, I still had 800 people in my
Wow.
live at 4 o'clock this morning. And, Dutchy After Dark has been, has really taken off and really grown. And while I'm so, so, so proud and so grateful and humble for my business that has taken off, I am more blessed and more thankful that I'm able to provide that space during Dutchy After Dark where people can come in. And, last night we were talking about how if you're not okay, tell somebody you're not okay. Don't feel like you're alone, or don't um, suffer the consequences of not being okay, that kind of thing. And, we had somebody reach out that said, I'm not okay. And so that whole segment was just devoted to, we rallied together and were trying to pull resources, and that is rewarding. I still get goosebumps, but that is rewarding on such another level as well.
Yeah. Wow.
Um, so yeah,
No,
it's
you
really turned into so much more than cups.
right. And that might go back a little bit into your background or your history. I don't know a lot about it. I think I've heard a little bit as far as were you a nurse or
I was a respiratory therapist for almost 29 years, and then we adopted our three kids. We were foster parents, and we had, it's either like 37 or 39 kids that we fostered over the course of
wow.
between 6 and 7 years. And so again, we are kind of, I don't know, I find myself, lots of folks call me Mama Dutchy
Mhm.
because they, I guess I have that nurturing mother, either that or I'm just because I'm older. But um and I think a lot of that goes back to, we discuss a lot of things trauma related, stuff like that just resonates with so many people that are either maybe ashamed to speak out,
Mhm.
or maybe just not educated enough um to get the answers, or that's not really the word, but you know what I mean. Like, they don't know where to get resources, that kind of thing. And
Mhm.
so we just pull together to kind of give them the resources and kind of steer them and guide them to where they need to be.
Right. Yeah. It's it's kind of hard when you have these feelings, and especially as an adolescent, but not sure how to direct, or if you think, oh, you're just overthinking this, and maybe you're just being too hard on yourself, but it's still keeping it internal isn't good, and like
Right, right. And that's what we talk about, that it is okay um, to talk about not being okay, and
Mhm.
it's like I said last night. And it doesn't always even it doesn't have to be you going up to your spouse or your best friend or your therapist or whatever and saying, I'm not okay. I said sometimes just like when you're in bed, or when you're sitting on the couch by yourself or whatever, just verbalizing, I'm not okay, sometimes is all the validation that you really need. You don't have to discuss it with anybody. Just verbalizing it and getting it out there is almost the release that you need to just say, I'm not okay, and kind of talk to yourself about it. And sometimes that's all you need. And sometimes it's you need more help, more assistance
Mhm.
and things like that. But sometimes just verbalizing that you're not okay is sometimes just the outlet that you need.
Yeah, at least a starting point. And
Sure.
I know I journaled a lot of things out in certain times in my life, like just scribble, 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 and
Right.
it helped a lot.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's so awesome though. I mean, in just a whole nother world, like who knew that? Because how many times in TikTok world has it been kind of like, it's just people dancing on an app and
Yes. Yes. And we have, I mean, I
dismissed.
have to give Cass a shout out. I don't know if you know Cass, but Cass is a young man that entered my life. And this is just kind of shows you the how this whole middle age thing is. And I get requests all the time to go live, with me. And I never pay them any mind. Well, I got one. I was getting ready. We had finished Dutchie After Dark and Daniel had gotten off and I was getting ready to get off. And I got a request to go live and I don't even acknowledge them. I don't decline them. I guess I'm ornery. I don't even have to lean over. I'm just like, after so many seconds, it'll disappear. And then
Yeah.
something told me, accept that. And so it had 1 second left and I accepted it. Well, he's a 22-year-old. He's hard of hearing. When he came into my live, he was like, hello. And he was signing.
Okay.
As he was speaking. He's hard of hearing. Well, long story short, he is from Haiti. He was a child slave. He is branded. He was a child slave who was rescued or bought by a missionary when he was 6 years old for $60 and taken to an orphanage where he was adopted by a family in Ohio. And he plays football for Gallaudet in DC, which is a hard of hearing / deaf school predominantly. And he is now a staple in my life every night on Dutchie After Dark. But somebody asked him the other night, and he is so pure. He is just precious. But they said, Cass, what made you just pop on to Miss Dutchie's live? Why did you choose her? To which he replied, he said, well, I saw that she was an old lady and old people like to talk. So that has become this. It is so funny because every night now and it's so cute. And so I said, I would not just let anybody get away with this. But he was like, he said, and so now it's the running joke because I'm quote old. But yeah, he was like, old people like to talk. And so now I'm always like, yeah, I know I'm old. And he's like, well, you're not old, but you know what I mean. And it was so funny because I reference that all the time. I'm like, guys, I don't know. People ask me all the time, how did you become so successful? How did you grow so quickly? And I said, I don't know. I truly don't. I said, I am blessed beyond measure because I said, I'm just a middle-aged woman making cups on TikTok. And they're like, that's where you're wrong. The cups are what brings people in because they're genuinely like, oh, what is she making? But it is much more. They said your music helps keep us there because I usually play the 70s. I love the 70s music. People love that music, but I think it's just the relatability. And like I said, we're just people helping people in my community. And that's what we do. And I think that is what also helps to draw people in and keep them there.
Yeah. And honestly, for me, even just my side and how I found you, I wasn't, I wasn't looking for anybody making cups. Literally it just came in and then, but I got drawn. So they're just, I think just deep down internally, and you have that connection, then it just happens, cause I don't watch anybody else's live cups, and right. I'm not going to say, well, I only watch Miss Dutchie, but
right.
I will say that I think there's just something else that's going on in your vibe, because also I will say in the algorithm, once you do have someone you're following, they think then that you are interested. And I have seen other ones and I'm like, no. And it's nothing against them. It's just that I think that there's something, it's a spark or a tick or something that you just get connected. I will share that my mother was from Kentucky. And as I'm in Michigan now, just north of Detroit, 40, 50 minutes away or whatever. Just for a frame of reference. But I don't know. Maybe it's that. Maybe it was just like, that Kentucky connection. I'm not sure. But anyway,
Right.
the music is cool, but I think when you do have another vibe in there, I think maybe it's just because it just kept getting interesting. It wasn't just a cup all the time. It was like one night I remember there was a little girl that was making a cup with her mom or something, but then there's one night I don't stay all the time. I don't stay all night either. I pop in and out, and I could hear then Joe, like we mentioned earlier, and I was like, oh, what's he saying? And I don't know. But I'm also probably like, just like I said, genuinely interested in personalities. I teach yoga and paddleboard, and this podcast was created around sort of that, but also just DIYers and people that have a lot of inspiration. And we always say too that it's more than just a board and a paddle. I mean, we're also mental health, getting on the water and connecting with nature and things like that. And so that's why, hopefully inviting, someone like you're like, well, I'm not into yoga and paddleboarding. I'm making cups.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, but
Right.
you have more than just cups too. So
Sure. And that's what started as therapy for me. And my oldest son paddleboards.
Cool.
And that is kind of his, that was always his, kind of like his outlet, I mean, because as you said, you get out on the water and it's like at that moment, nothing else really matters, I mean, and that was the whole basis that my whole business got started was a means to grieve, I started coming out here and creating, and was able to talk with my dad, without the kids being around, and just talk to him and feel like he was still here, and that kind of thing. And I also said there is no doubt in my mind that my dad is behind so much of my success. Mm-hmm. And like I said, someone did a newspaper, my local newspaper did an article, and it said the title was "Out of Grief, a Star is Born." And, I don't know about the star part, but the grief part was definitely, I mean, that was so true, because it's the whole reason that I started. And it's the reason that I still do that. It's the reason I'm still doing what I'm doing. I love my clients. I love the Dutchie After Dark, and I don't know what I would do now without that. Mm-hmm. But it's the creating, and like when I'm out here during the day, there's so much that goes on just without what they see in me making that cup is so minute as to what actually the process is. And so I still, when I'm out here by myself and I'm putting, I have almost every turner up there is full of cups, and I have to put extra coats of epoxy on and stuff like that. It is still therapeutic for me, because I'm still out here by myself when the kids are in school and my husband's downstairs in his office, and I'm still able to get out here and talk to my dad and, do some off camera orders. And so it allows me to continue to get back to the whole reason that I started doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. That's so cool. I love the story. I love the story. I love the passion, and obviously, a piece in there that what you're talking about with your dad. I mean, I'm coming up 2 years on losing my dad. And that was right at that lockdown and pandemic, and it was just the craziest thing to go through.
Right. It's. I mean, it's a. Yeah, it's a pain that, unless you've been through it, and we love our mom dearly. There's no doubt about that. But we were daddy's girls. There were 3 of us, and we were daddy's girls. And, he was out at my house every single day, and just, and so trying to struggle and find your new normal after something like that. And, I question it all the time. Like, will I ever find my new normal? You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, it's tough for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I so appreciate you coming on and sharing all the fun parts, the emotional parts.
Sure. Sure.
I really appreciate you. So
Well,
thank you.
I appreciate you reaching out, and like I said, allowing me to kind of tell my story. But even more so, like I said, it is about the cups, but it has come to be so much more than just the cups. And like I said, I get hundreds of emails, basically daily, and it's so much. There is so much support, and I'll always say, for every ounce of hate that I get a pound of love. And that is so true. Every time I open up my email, my email is just flooded with, you help my anxiety so much. Just I could go on, and that at the end of the day is what makes it all worth it.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. I love your message. Did you have anything else that you would want to share to close out your website, or another little
Again,
message? Anything.
I'm not a good businesswoman at all. My husband tells me that all the time, because I'm like, oh, you want a cup? Okay, yeah, here. No, it's okay. No, you don't have to pay me. And I can't help it. That's how I am. And like, I can tell you, I think my website, it is Shan Sparkle Shop. I know that. It is on Shopify. I think it is shansparkleshop.myshopify.com, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not even, like I said, he is the guru. I do know the name of the shop is Shan Sparkle Shop, and I am sold out. I stay sold out. I stocked 631 cups on my last restock, and they sold out in less than 4 minutes.
Oh, wow. You are
So
busy.
yes. So I get that all the time. Well, I went, but you're out of stock. Yes, I apologize. But that that will at least allow you to check. I have like 35 to 40 different styles and sizes of cups, and pricing and all that stuff is actually on my website.
Cool. And of course, you on TikTok, you are, what is your name again?
Mrs. Dutchy 73.
Yep. Cool. Live every night, 8:00.
Yes. Well, 8:00 until whenever.
Whenever.
That's right. Yep.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
I love it. I so appreciate you coming on. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks.